In this episode, we're going to be looking at our learning kit. This is learning kit 5, and we're looking at grade 6, and our topic for science is the interaction of light. So we're going to need some material, and it will be our first steps in science, year 6, page 106 to 111. Or if you're using the mission science, it will be pages 74 to 77. Objectives for this episode. In this lesson, you will learn to investigate the interaction of light with materials that are shiny, dull, transparent, translucent, and opaque. Explain how shadows are formed, and classify objects or materials as transparent, translucent, and opaque. Now, success criteria. How will I know if I have learned this properly? I will know that I have learned when I can do these things. Determine how light interacts with different types of materials. I would have learned if I can explain how shadows are formed. If I am able to classify objects and or materials as transparent, translucent, and opaque, then I know that I have success. All right, so I will take the parent voice here. And when you're doing this on your own at home, you could ask a parent, you could ask an older sibling, just someone else to give that parent voice. Let's go with this. It says here, light is either absorbed, transmitted, or reflected by some objects and materials. So light is either absorbed, transmitted, or reflected by some objects and materials. It is reflected in an orderly way from shiny, flat, smooth materials. However, dull, rough, and dark materials scatter light rays in all directions in a disorderly way. So here, when it reflects, it's orderly, okay? And this is when we're dealing with smooth, flat, shiny material. But when it is dull and rough and dark, it scatters the light in a disorderly way. All right. Now, how a material interacts with light depends. How a material interacts with light will determine whether it is opaque, transparent, or translucent. So it depends on what type of material it is. Okay, the properties here being whether the material is opaque, transparent, or translucent. Light will react or interact with it in a particular way. So let's read in your text to answer the question. Does everything form a shadow? Now to the teaching points. All right. So teaching points now. How light reacts with the different materials. Light interacts differently with various objects and materials. Light is either absorbed, transmitted, or reflected by some objects and materials. So we have some pictures here, and let's see. This look like light rays coming here, and it says absorbs light. Okay, so absorbing light here. This one, how light works, we go in, we don't see anything coming out, so again, light is absorbed. And here it says transmitting light. This looks like this thing that they use to wrap sandwiches, cling wrap. Okay, so transmitting light. Okay, here we have it. This one reflecting light. So we see light here coming here and bouncing. So this looks like a shiny surface, maybe something like a mirror or something like that. All right, let's go on. It says here, light reflects in an orderly way from shiny, flat, smooth materials such as metal pots, ceramic cups, ceramic tiles, water, safety clothes, okay, and the mirrors. All right. So again, light reflects in an orderly way from shiny, flat, smooth materials such as metal pots, ceramic cups, ceramic tiles, water, safety clothes, and mirrors. It says here now, what is different about dull, rough, and dark materials such as those shown below? So I have cut stone, I have cement ball, wood, and leather. These scatter light rays in all directions in a disorderly way. Okay, so while these reflect light in an orderly way, these materials scatter light in all directions. Says here now, let's go down a little bit more. Light is transmitted, that is, it passes through some materials. Which of these materials do you see light being transmitted? All right, and let's go down here. Let's see. All right. Well, I see this looks like a glass setup here. I guess if you're on the outside of the glass, you could see inside. Not so much. This bottle has a color. I might not be able to see through it. The Bible. Well, I can't see from out here and look and see what's inside. Well, I see light rays passing in here, and this appears to be some form of a shark based on the tail fin here. And this appears to be transparent. This one seems to be a clear container, maybe glass of some sort. It says here, some amount of light is being transmitted through all except the book. Okay, so again, can't see through this one clearly, but they say some light is being transmitted through that. Okay, this one definitely not. All right, let's go to the other side. It says here now, there are materials that do not reflect or transmit light. Instead, they absorb or block it. So they don't reflect it, they don't transmit it, they absorb or block light. For example, sponge, colored cloth, a cardboard box, a school bag, a human being. Now, it says here, how a material interacts with light will determine whether it is opaque, transparent, or translucent. All right, so let's see what it says here about these now. Let's go with this. Opaque. Opaque materials block or absorb all the light, causing shadows to form. All right, then this is a question that was asked. Does everything form a shadow? So only opaque things can form a shadow then. All right. Let's see. Transparent. So if you notice, this is the light source, and then we have the beams of light going to this, but nothing is passing through this side. It stops here, blocks the light. Transparent, just looking at this, I have the light source, light going here, and a lot of it, or most of it, is coming through. Transparent. Transparent materials transmit or allow all of the light to pass through. They do not form shadows. All right, last one now. Translucent. Translucent materials allow some light to pass but scatter the light rays in all directions, so the material looks blurred. All right, so light source here again, light rays, it scatters it. Not all of it appears to be coming out in the same with the same intensity like before. All right, so we now have a better understanding of opaque, transparent, and translucent materials. Let's look at how shadows are formed. How are shadows formed? When light rays reach a solid object or material which blocks or absorbs it, a shadow is formed in the shape of the object which blocks the light. The closer the object is to the light source, the larger the shadow that is formed. The farther away it is from the light source, the smaller the shadow that is formed. Let's see if we understand this. So again, something that blocks light, something that is opaque, forms a shadow. And the closer it is, the larger the shadow. And the farther away it is, the smaller the shadow. All right. Let's complete some activities down here. Complete the following activities. Let's go with this. Indicate by writing yes or no how light interacts with these materials. Glass interaction allows all light to pass through. Material is transparent. Yes. I'm just going to put Y because of the space. Cardboard blocks or absorbs light. Opaque. Yes, this is opaque. All right. White plastic bottle blocks light. White. Wonder if they meant clear. But if it blocks light, it's opaque. That's a yes. Mirror refracts light. Transparent. I would say no to this, because if it's transparent, I can see through it, and I don't see through a mirror. It bounces the light or refracts the light so I can see myself. So I'm going to say no for this one. Styrofoam allows some light to pass through. Translucent. Styrofoam is like the curry goat box that you get lunch in and so on. But I can't see through those. I'm going to say no for this. I don't think that is translucent. Animal, block light, opaque. Yes. I'll say yes for that one. Alright, so let's go now with something else here. It says we're going to classify these as transparent, translucent, or opaque by giving a tick. So let's look at the material here. This appears to be some black material here. Kind of look like the cut stone that was here on the other side. So that would definitely be opaque. Okay. Let's go. This appears to be the scene with our shark. And we can make them out there. All right. So that appears to be allowing some of the light to pass through. So let me go with translucent. I'm not certain what if this plastic bottle is totally white, or based on the size, not really sure, so I don't know. Okay, can't tell. If I can see through it clearly, then it would be transparent. If I can see what is in it a little, then maybe it's translucent. If I can't see because it's totally white, then it would be opaque. So I'm not certain. Based on the size of the image, I can't tell properly. I have some material here before we wrap up that possibly could help us to understand the concept as well. So let's go with this. I have a drinking glass. Now, can I see the text that is behind the drinking glass? Yes. It allows light to pass through, so I can see behind the glass. Okay? I can see clearly behind the glass. Now, here's another piece of material that I have. This is a diffuser that is used on an LED light that we're using now to put some light onto our paper so we can actually see. But this one is not transparent. We can make out some of the things behind it, but can we see as clearly as before? Let's look. Okay, hold on. This one we determined was transparent. Everything all right, good. But this one, blurry. Which one of these things again? If we go back here, it says translucent. Material allows some light to pass through, but scatters light rays in all directions so that the material looks blurred. Blurry. See? And we can see this, for example, some people have glass blocks at home, right? Or you have a shower enclosure and the material looks like this. Well, you can see that somebody is in the shower, but you can't really make out the form or see the exact details of the person. If you go to the bank, the ATM, sometimes you will see sections that have frosted glass that kind of look like this. So you can see that somebody is in there, but you really couldn't make out what they're doing, or if they're counting their money, how much money they're counting, and so on. If it had looked like this, then we could say, yes, you see how much money, how much $1,000 I put in a bag. Right? So for security purposes, people use the properties of these materials to help to keep people safe and to offer some amount of privacy. All right, let's go with this one now. Here I have a tablet, and the case for the tablet is here, and this is dark. I can't see the tablet anymore because this material is what? It's dark, it's dull, right? Doesn't allow any light to pass through. It blocks the light. Therefore, this material is opaque. Right, so I hope that helps. So again, this would be transparent, allowing all the light to pass through. Can see everything behind it clearly. My diffuser here, this material is translucent, blocks the light, makes things blurry, right? While the case for the tablet is what? That would be opaque. All right, so to wrap this up, let's go back to the parent voice, and then we go back to our success criteria and close it off. All right. Parent voice. So we say here, light is either absorbed, transmitted, or reflected by some objects and materials. It reflects in an orderly way from shiny, flat, smooth materials. So if something is shiny, flat, and smooth, you know, it reflects in an orderly way. However, dull, rough, and dark materials scatter light in all directions in a disorderly way. How a material interacts with light will determine whether it is opaque, transparent, or translucent. And you were asked to read in your text the answer if everything forms a shadow. Let's go to our success criteria. Let's go back. I will know that I have learned when I can determine how light interacts with different types of material. Now, we were able to do this. Explain how shadows are formed. We were able to do that as well. We said that shadows are formed when some opaque material blocks light, okay, and a shadow will be formed in the shape of that particular object. The closer it is to the light source, the larger the shadow. The farther away it is, the smaller the shadow. All right, final one. Classify objects or materials as transparent, translucent, and opaque. And we were able to do that as well. All right, guys, so take the opportunity, go over this as much as is needed so that you understand the interactions of light. Take care, and we'll see you in our next episode.